The husband was cheating on his wife. The servant, seeing the wife coming, goes and tells the husband. The husband runs away. The girlfriend says, "If you told my cousin anything, you won't be spared." The servant says, "Why would I do that?" and leaves. The wife comes and asks the cousin, "What are you doing here so early in the morning?" The cousin says, "I was just soaking in the sun." The wife says, "I heard you were fighting with the servant." The cousin says, "No, I was just asking about the plants." The wife says, "Come inside. I have good news." Both go inside. At the dining table, while placing juice, the wife says, "You'll like it." The cousin says, "Surely the happy news you want to share is that your husband has become the manager?" The wife says, "No, I am going to be a mother." The husband says, "Really?" The cousin angrily stands up and says, "Maybe I should go. I'm not feeling well," and leaves. The cousin was sitting in the room. The husband comes and says, "We can't go further. My wife is pregnant." The cousin says, "I know that you love me. Come closer." The husband says, "You are a jealous woman. This can't happen. I love my wife," and leaves. The cousin says, "No one can reject me. Now I'll take revenge." The very next moment, the cousin pours oil on the stairs and throws a glass down. The wife, hearing the noise, quickly comes down and slips and falls. The husband sees the wife and panics, saying, "Someone help me." The cousin comes and says, "Quickly call him." The husband carries the wife away. The cousin says, "Everything is going according to plan." Some moments later, the cousin was worried and says, "I hope I get the news I'm waiting for." The wife and husband return home. The cousin says, "I'm so sorry about your baby." The husband says, "Nothing like that happened, but my wife needs rest." They both leave. The cousin says, "This time you were saved, but you'll have to pay the price," and leaves. The wife and husband were sleeping. The cousin comes into the room and wakes the husband up. The husband says, "Please don't create trouble and go away." The cousin says, "If you don't want a scene, come outside quickly." The husband comes outside. The cousin says, "You know I need you." The husband says, "I've already told you our relationship is over. I'm going to be a father." The cousin says, "Then maybe I should call your wife." The husband says, "Don't do that." The cousin says, "Then do as I say." The wife, not seeing her husband on the bed, gets worried. As soon as she comes out of the room, she sees her husband with his cousin. Furiously, she says, "What are you doing? I don't need any explanation." She says to the cousin, "I want you to get out of here," and pushes her. She even picks up the cousin's shoes and throws them at her. The husband says, "Forgive me." The wife says, "Now there's no justification. I don't need you. Get out of here." The wife cries and says, "Oh God, now what should I do? I was not worthy of him." If you truly love someone, don't give them tears. Betrayal always leads to destruction, and there is no greater cruelty than this.